right, the keyboard warriors are here. How's everybody doing?
Exciting.
Hello.
Yeah. You guys sound thrilled.
Yay!
Los Angeles!
Yeehaw!
Woo! Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I don't know that it started.
No, I don't. Doesn't look like. I've seen the video.
There we go. All right.
Alright, welcome in, everybody. Let's take a second right off the bat just to introduce the Skype callers for this week. Why don't you guys do the introductions yourselves?
To my left is the bursting with fruit flavor Sconsin from Wisconsin.
To my right, it's the ever so present Alps from Jersey.
Alright, I wasn't expecting you to take it that direction, but that works. You guys know who I am by now, I hope. I'm Roadway Wiz. It's good to have you with us. Happy Saturday. Another week has come and gone, and it's time for another in-depth webinar presentation. So we're glad to have you with us. I'm just going to take another second to admire this desktop background, if you don't mind. I kind of feel like...
Your masterpiece. You do it.
Yeah, well, I feel like we could just do a 2-hour webinar just showing this, and people would watch it.
Boring.
I feel like that is true, considering how many people watch your live drives that are usually buffering.
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, I cannot tell Columbia County to improve their signal coverage. I don't have that kind of power. I wish I could, but I can't.
So let's just get on with the real one. Capiche?
Yeah, that's fair. Alright, so tonight we're going to focus on LA. Okay. It's a city that really doesn't need much of an introduction. I mean, you all have heard about it, whether it is... hang on one second here. You know... I don't know what's going on right now. Excuse me for a second. Because somebody is trying to join the call.
Let's be CPZ.
And I don't know why it's going to my phone and not my computer.
Easy.
It's going to, yeah, I don't know why it's going to my, Can one of you try to troubleshoot that for me? Because I can't, I'm trying to close out of Skype so that the call doesn't keep going to my phone.
I think he will get there momentarily.
Well, alright.
We can introduce our third panelist right now. He is... I don't think he's announced one of these before, has he?
Not the webinars, but live.
All right. From Maryland, from Maryland, but also from the region of Marion Shapilov Barry, DC's mayor for life, it will be C. Patrick Zalaikas in a moment. I'm glad I said that before he logged in so he doesn't hear me butcher his name.
You sure you didn't go off to Allegheny County, Pennsylvania?
It's not a place anyone can go right now.
Yes, I don't know why he's having issues. See that? He shouldn't have hung up the first time.
Is there any way you can invite him?
Well, he's in the group chat,
Oh,
so I don't know why he can't just call in.
I think, not sure. See if you can add him. I think you have an invite on that, so that's a circle with the guy with the plus next to Steve there.
No, he's in the group chat. He just has to get into it.
Yeah.
Why don't we start with one of the boring highways?
Okay, just hit the CP there.
Well, I could do that again, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why that... But he's already in the group, so I don't understand why he can't
There he
join
is.
us.
Hi there.
Hi, sorry about that.
Are you, there you are.
Yep.
What's going
Can you hear me
on?
okay? Well, I want to be over at Dad's house. He's been having some problems. I just wanted to physically be here. He does have a health aid, but he's had some problems, and in particular, falling down when he's been told not to get up without some help, and that's going to be a problem, unfortunately. Although you'd figure he would have learned from recovering from a pretty bad bone fracture to his left arm, but you know.
Ouch.
I can't force Dad to do things that he doesn't want to do. So, but I try.
Mhm.
Anyway, here. Sorry to keep you guys waiting.
No, that's all right. We didn't want to get started without you, so...
All right.
Um,
Now, should I be running? I do have my laptop. Should I be running the Roadway Whiz? Should be running something on there to keep up with the presentation, or?
yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
like you can open up the stream, and then you can,
All right. Got it.
yeah.
I'll be right back.
Just make sure to mute the stream.
Yeah, otherwise, you get this.
That's echoing. Yes, I will mute it.
Yeah. All right, what were we talking about?
Roads.
We were talking- Why are we here again? I don't know. All right, so yeah, Los Angeles, the city that needs no introduction. You all know it. You all either love it or hate it. I don't know that there's much of an in-between with this place.
The city of roads.
Yeah, city of roads for sure. And we're going to talk about the roads that I got to document back in February. And there's a lot of interference coming from somebody right now. I don't know who that is, but...
I think that's CPZ.
We mute here. We mute this here. Let's see if that helps. Hold on. No, I don't want to start again, damn it.
It reminds me of sitting at the New York Philharmonic and having some dude's cell phone go off in the middle of the performance. It's like, shut the fuck up.
I want to see if it gets better. Just tell me if it gets better.
All right. Well, I'll let you know. All right. So again, I'm going to call your attention to the sheet that you've been seeing for a couple of months now as we get our announcements underway. Again, the perspective on where we are, where we've been, and where we're going. Again, everything is still proceeding according to plan. We are down here tonight. It's May 2nd. It's another week in the books. And this is the next presentation that we've got for you guys. We are getting down to the end here of the stuff that I've already figured out as far as what we're going to do. I do have a couple more ideas that would fill in the gaps for the 23rd and the 30th, but I will announce those probably sometime after we finish the 516 presentation. So that's still a couple weeks away, but I do have a couple of things in mind for you guys for those last couple weekends in May. As far as YouTube uploads, we continue with Las Vegas and Clark County, Nevada. I believe this morning I just finished publishing I-15 in Nevada. So there's that, and I think we got another few more days of Nevada stuff. We've got a few days of Death Valley stuff coming up, and that'll take us to about May 12th or so, and then we'll start with El Paso, Texas at that point, and that'll be about a 2-week series. All right. So that's that. I think that's straightforward, right? Any questions on announcements? Okay, fine, good. LA, by the numbers. Again, there's not a whole lot to introduce here. I think you guys know all this, I think it's all pretty straightforward here. 4 million people within the city limits, that's good for second in the country. It's actually a distant second, because the number one has more than double of that number. The metro population of the basin is around 13 million. Again, that's good for second. LA County is very diverse, not just with the people who live there, but also, terrain-wise. It occupies territory at sea level, and if you go up north of the city, up in the San Gabriel Mountains, you can have terrain that's a mile above sea level, all within the same county.
Just take Highway 2 north and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Highway 14. Oh,
Neither of which I managed to drive, but that's okay. We hear a lot about places like Hollywood and Beverly Hills, which are all, within that same area of LA. But the place of, the cultural reference Skid Row got its name in LA also, if you're going to go to the other side of the ledger, and also the Watts neighborhood, which was very much in the news, I would say starting in the late 60s and again in the early 90s. That was a hotbed of a lot of tension within the city. So you got a little bit of everything, right? You got the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, and you've got, the other side of things elsewhere in the city. Disclaimer time. All right, so I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to do it once on live TV. I hope I don't have to do this many more times, especially when these videos start appearing in July. But you guys need to know that not every single highway in the Los Angeles area was covered as part of this trip.
Boo!
And the reason I'm showing you this picture, in case you're wondering what you're looking at, this is me at about 5:30 or 6 o'clock before sunrise. And because of the fact that Los Angeles was not actually part of the trip, it was not on the agenda for this 2-week trip out in Arizona and California. I didn't have any itineraries drawn up for LA, but I ended up having a couple of mornings where I had some time to go film some stuff. And so I literally spent, that morning just drawing stuff up. And on my phone on the right, I forget what highway I'm looking at here, but I'm looking at exit lists. I'm jotting down stuff that I can go film like within a couple hours or so. It was that spontaneous. But we will go through the highways that I managed to drive, and I think that'll give you an idea of the area in general, and also it'll give you an idea of what a full LA series produced by me could look like if I had the time to do it.
Judging from the number in the upper left-hand corner of your notebook, you're trying to plot your way to city through traffic on 605.
Yeah, that does look like, it is. I have 605 written down, so that's probably what it is. There are other numbers, like if you look above that on the top left, there are other numbers too. I think that's because that was like a wish list of highways I wanted to cover, if I had the chance. But, Yeah, my notepads look very weird if you look at them. They don't make a whole lot of sense on first glance, but there is a system there. So you know what? Let's make this nice and easy for everybody. Instead of historic maps, what we're going to do is we're going to plot all the highways that I drove in LA, and this will not take an hour and a half to do. Just so it's clear to everybody what I drove, all right? So, let's highlight the 5 up there.
Wow, this is getting interesting.
Let's draw in the 405. Okay. And we can draw the 73 while we're at it. Let's draw the Eastern Hills toll roads in here. Going up like that. Let's draw 605. And let's do something like that. Whoever is making that noise, please stop. My God. I don't know what's going on back there. Alright. If I gotta start yelling at you guys, that's what I'm gonna do. Alright? That's the map of what I covered. So, take a good look at it, and that's what I was able to do in a couple of mornings. Alright?
Don't be talking about those.
Alright, well, let's, in standard fashion, let's start rolling through these. So, the 5, the main north-south freeway through Los Angeles. It connects LA with Anaheim, the cities of Orange County to the south. And eventually, if you keep going, all the way down to San Diego. It's also known for the Grapevine Pass, which is if you go north out of LA on the 5, and it's basically a mountain pass that gets you out into the Central Valley on the other side. I only know this through hearsay.
The technical name of the pass is called Tejon Pass.
Say that again?
The actual name of the pass is Tejon Pass. Tatejon.
And it features old alignments of Route 66 that randomly stop and start on the hillside that you're not supposed to park on the shoulder and get out and walk on.
You mean 99?
99. Yes, a multiple.
99 and the Ridge Road.
I had my notes upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So where does the name Grapevine come from?
Yeah, I believe Grapevine, California.
I think it's from the way the road twisted up to get to the top of it.
So, okay. So there is a town called Grapevine, though?
It is actually north of the mountainous portion.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
I spent the night there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also called Grapevine Canyon.
Okay. Yeah, so as you're gonna say, like, this was pretty odd to me, being able to fly through these freeways at highway speed. I know that's not typical, for the vast majority of people who happen to be passing through. Usually they're going at like 10 miles an hour, if they're lucky. So it was very interesting to get this perspective of these highways. And especially even now, like if you're a local out there right now, given the fact that everything is shut down, it's, I'm sure you're free and clear out there right now, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's probably this is probably if you were living in LA and in the roads, definitely would be going to do the daily coronavirus and the commutes out in LA.
I would love to do that.
But unfortunately, that is not the case for most of us.
Yeah.
Sadly, I was supposed to be there right as coronavirus took hold, so had I been on that vacation, I would have gotten to drive the roads empty and then not been able to come home. But
Well, yeah, you would have had you wouldn't have been able to come home, but you would have been able to drive all the highways without traffic.
absolutely,
That's a fair trade-off.
I agree.
All right, so the 405, you know it, you love it, or you hate it. I put the word bypass in quotes because it's not really a bypass. It's just another 70 miles of hell introduced into the LA freeway system. Except when I drove it, it was pretty well behaved at that time. It begins at the south end near Irvine at a junction known as the El Toro Y, and it goes through Sepulveda Pass. On its way near its north end, near the north merge with I-5. So you get a little bit of everything. You get the suburban/urban feel, and you also get another mountain pass along the way.
And about 1 to 2 miles south of the Newhall Pass, which is a five issue. So I don't have to worry about that.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't talked about O.J. Simpson on this channel in a while, so why don't we do that real quick? Our good friend Orenthal was made immortal on a nice early summer afternoon in June 1994 when he decided that he was going to get behind the wheel of his white Ford Bronco and go for a cruise on the highway. I have no doubt that he's a road geek, and I'm sure he just wanted to get some pictures. And so, he decided to take the 405. And those of you who have seen the police chase footage, which is infamous, you can, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up later. But the vast majority of the footage that you saw of that chase occurred on the 405. Yep, maybe that's OJ beeping at us right now. I don't know.
That was agreement.
But yeah, apparently OJ, during the chase, he got on the 405 right near the El Toro Y and took it all the way up to Brentwood. So
and the police clearing all the traffic in front of him.
Yeah, it was, that's the clearest that the 405 has been until coronavirus stuff, probably. Yeah, something else I should point out as we look through some of these pictures. You are starting to see some sign replacements. A lot of the ancient classic signage is starting to go away. But we do still have a good amount of old stuff. In these pictures here, you do see a lot of classic interstate shields and button copy text. So there's still a lot of that stuff holding on, and hopefully it continues to stick around for a while, because I like that old stuff.
That is classic California for sure.
Yeah. .605. Again, another north-south hellhole on most days, except the day that I was driving it. It's a north-south interstate for the interior parts of the basin east of downtown LA. It connects the 405 with the foothills of the San Gabriel Mountains, and it also notoriously takes you through the census-designated place of through traffic, as you can see in the photo on the left. Is there any particular reason why through traffic is used on 605 and not elsewhere. I get the feeling that this is just a batch of signs that were made, and for whatever reason, somebody
that would be my guess on that one. I think there's no real places to actually point people to. Did you take it northbound or southbound? It looks to me like it was probably south, or nope, I see not.
Well,
never mind.
I drove both, and they, it does say through traffic going both directions.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, southbound you have places that you could mark, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what you would say for northbound.
Not really much. I mean, everything is on the other sides here.
Yeah. I mean, they could put other desert cities on there. That's true.
Just like California to me.
Yeah, you know.
Points north.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because here's a 605 south through traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess whoever was in charge of that batch of signs said that through traffic was a good idea for some reason, and then they stuck with that. But I don't know. It didn't really make much sense to me.
Nope.
Not a whole lot to say about 605, right? I mean, it's east of town, and it doesn't really get all the attention that the other major highways like the 510, the 405, the 110 get.
I was not impressed with it when I drove it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's there, you know, it's a freeway, but you drive it and there's really not a whole lot to look at. Well, there's not a whole lot to look at on the 105 either. But that, again, that's mainly me judging it based on the day that I drove it, where it was foggy and you couldn't see jack. But apparently there is stuff to see on the 105 when the weather is clear. This is an east-west freeway connecting the LAX airport area with the main north-south highways near LA. Specifically the 110, 710, and 605. But not the 5, for whatever reason. One of the more interesting features of this highway is that it has a light rail dinky line in its median, known as the C line.
Formerly known as the Green Line.
Do you know the history of that?
Yeah.
Scott?
Yeah, I know some of the recent history. I was out there when it was still colors, and recently they started changing everything to letters in anticipation of all their expansion plans.
Yes.
I'm still trying to get a grip about the what's going on with that and why they're doing all that change, but it's still the same. It's still the same LA Metro system, but to be honest with you, it's only recent that they put it in there. It's late 90s, early 2000s that they put the subways, and then later on they put the light rails in. If you think LA is a car-dependent city now, you didn't have a choice back then.
Yeah, I mean, like how recently was that?
2000s.
Wow.
Yeah, I was out there in '97, and they were just building it then.
Yeah. There's not much of a commuter rail system there either.
You got the Metrolink.
Yeah, but what does that do?
It gets you up to it gets you up to Palmdale, down to Orange County, over to San Bernardino, and Riverside.
It's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's decent, but like they don't have that many lines, right?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not as extensive as, say, New Jersey Transit.
Nobody uses it either.
You got a point there.
Because people in the LA Basin are more spread out, and the destinations are much more spread out. There's no real nexus of jobs there, unlike most places where there's a defined downtown. The LA downtown is not where the jobs go, by and large.
Which downtown?
Yeah.
There's a lot of downtowns in the LA basin, including
Absolutely.
the main one.
Yeah. Yeah, so the name of this freeway is officially Glenn Anderson Freeway, but it was originally built as the Century Freeway, and I believe the name change took place in the 90s.
Oh.
Though I don't know what people really call it. I guess they just call it the 105 because that's what people do in LA. They just refer to it by the route number.
Yeah, DX.
I always knew it as Century because I think it followed Century Boulevard.
Okay, yeah, that's probably where the original name came from. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I put this picture in because, as I said, I couldn't see Jack because of fog.
The judge.
The judge. All rise. In the words of John Sterling, here comes the judge. This is the Judge Stack Interchange, or what you can see of it.
Fragerson.
It is, what, 5 levels?
Mm.
I think. Because
so.
there's also the HOV level in there too, right?
Yeah, nothing's gone to 6 yet.
I just like how the ramps in the background just go off into nothing. That's pretty sweet.
The way the fog does eat it up like that, yes. But when you actually look at it on a clear day, you could say it rivals the high five, but I still think the high five is better.
Yeah, I have not seen the high five yet myself. But normally you'd be able to see like a 5-level mishmash of ramps right in here, but that was not to be the case.
The 110 is the lowest level. Let's see here. I'm going to look at it once. And then I think level 3 has the 105 and the C line on it. Video. And then, the ramps are in between, and then the HOV ramps are the lone 5th level.
Okay. Oh, so the HOV is the top level then?
Yep.
Oh, that would be a...
It's a rare type of 5-level where you could say that frontage roads had nothing to do with it, but it really is somewhat dominated by frontage roads a little bit, but not as obvious like what the Texas highways have.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I bet that view on the HOV roadways would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do have a thing for toll roads, so maybe one of these days I'll have to do that.
It's actually, you have to have a fast track to use it.
Oh, that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
You know me, I like toll roads. It wouldn't be that hard to get one.
Mm-mm. Let's go to your local auto club. That's where you got them.
Some club in Southern California, exactly.
Has Pat rejoined us, or what's going on over there?
I was told I was hearing feedback, and I think I've remediated that, so I'm back with the speaker on. Tell me if you're hearing feedback, please.
I am still hearing feedback.
Yeah, there's still some feedbacking going on. It's not as ridiculous as it was earlier, but I'm still hearing something in the background.
What does it sound like?
Yeah, because you're using the computer mic?
Yeah, this is actually the tablet computer mic, and the computer mic is muted.
Yeah.
Well, I've been doing a little research in the meantime, and the 105-110 interchange covers better than 100 acres.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yep.
That's pretty damn big.
The central part of it takes up an entire quarter mile by quarter mile square major block.
You know what? If the Los Angeles Chargers played their games on level 3 of that interchange, they probably would draw more fans than they draw right now.
They'd draw a lot more enemies, that's for sure.
Well, if they were playing on the road, they'd be playing the Rams for sure.
Yeah. Well, where the Chargers play right now, that little soccer BS stadium or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They get outdrawn by leaps and bounds there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what the hell is it going to be like when they move into SoFi, I wonder?
Oh, the fans will come. What do you mean?
Yeah, the Titans.
Los
The
Angeles
opposing
loves
team
football.
fans.
Yeah, the Titans fans will come whenever they play there. There'll be 60,000 Titans fans in the stands. Which I think when the Titans played the Chargers over in London a couple of years ago, it was like that, where like there were barely any Chargers fans there. It was mostly like either neutral, because like the London games get a lot of neutral supporters, neutral fans, but it was like neutral fans and Titans fans, and then there were like 4 or 5 Chargers fans sprinkled in.
Speaking of harbor freeways.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're talking about roads, right? Harbor Freeway. Sorry about that little tangent. 110. So with the 105, I didn't drive the full length of it. I only drove like the eastern half of it. The 110 was again another interstate that I only drove a part of. And I drove basically the northern part of it. Just so you know. I did not get to go down to Long Beach because, as you've been seeing in some of these pictures, it was a little foggy out and you can't see jack you-know-what. So it really didn't make sense for me to try to go down there if I wasn't going to be able to see anything. So again, the 110 freeway is a major north-south corridor. It directly connects downtown LA with the San Pedro, Long Beach area on the coast. It's one of 2 freeways that more or less connects those 2 areas directly. The other one being the 710, although the 710 is a few miles east. But you can still get to the same areas by following 710. The Harbor Transit Way, if you look at the photo on the lower right, you can see it. It's this elevated structure here that carries HOV lanes and toll-managed lanes. Scott, you want to talk about that for a minute?
Well, I've never been on the transitway myself. Didn't know if, like you said, if you like toll roads, you would have been on that one because it's a HOT lane. But basically, that is like one of the two bus rapid transits in LA. The other one is the Orange, or whatever it is now, up in the San Fernando Valley. This one kind of connects with the El Monte busway that goes along the 10 to the east after going through downtown.
Okay. So how long is this corridor overall?
The busway or the highway?
Well, I don't know. Like let's break it down and do both. Like the busway is like a separate thing, though, right?
Right. So for the Harbor Transitway, it's 11 miles.
Okay. That's
As a
pretty
type?
significant.
Yep. The El Monte busway itself is also essentially also 11 miles. I'm not sure. Yep, yeah, probably it is. And then you got the stuff in between. El Monte pretty much starts at the Union Station, where the red line, the purple line all join up with that and cross the gold line. It's technically called the Silver Line, but like I said, they've been changing that over to whatever line they call it now. But like I said, it's supposedly bus rapid transit. By definition, it's really just a bus going down a road.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
No one has true bus rapid transit anywhere in this nation.
No, Boston's trying.
And that's a
For
good
whatever
view
that's
right there.
worth. Yeah, I'm so glad the fog parted.
Hmm.
You know, it actually. I posted the video on my Facebook page, but as you're going along on northbound, you're in the fog, and then you get to here, and the clouds part basically, and you have this view right in front of you, and this is the view you get on 110 northbound as you approach downtown. Um, Absolutely brilliant view. I
Yep.
love it. Um, I had to make sure that I shared this picture with you guys.
It's one of a million views off freeways that you can get in LA.
Yeah. Yes, this was a memorable one for sure.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll revisit this view when we look at videos later.
Oh, definitely.
Well, if we keep going on the 110, so what happens is the interstate ends officially at the Santa Monica Freeway, the 10 freeway. And north of there, the Harbor Freeway continues as Highway 110. And then the Harbor Freeway ends at the 101. And at that point, the Parkway begins and continues as Highway 110 all the way up to Pasadena. Um, so it's basically an extension of the Harbor Freeway at this point. It's all, united under the 110 route number. It's just that only the section south of I-10 is part of the interstate system.
The I-110 actually is an extension of this one because, like you say in the slide here, America's first freeway in 1940. So I don't know. Went back then, it was like 6 and 11. But then we did the great renumbering, and 110 kind of won out in the end.
Yeah, is there any reason why the harbor through downtown is an I-110?
I don't know.
Because, it makes sense where it ends.
It ends at an interstate
Right.
versus a U.S. Route 101 at the Hollywood Freeway.
But it is a 3-digit spur, so that shouldn't matter.
No, I agree.
I'm not saying that the Parkway should be an interstate. I'm just talking about the harbor section. But
It's a blurry situation. I always look at it from the 101, and they had I-110 going south off the 101 with no 2 on it, might I add. So it's kind of a blurry mess. Everybody just calls it the 110. So
right, yeah.
Mhm.
So that's how you get around that.
Yeah.
And I do believe there are even overhead signs downtown that put I-110 on that section of the harbor. But yeah, again, I think that's also partly because everybody just calls it the 110. So it's easy to get those two mixed up.
You will find error shields of both types going both directions there
Yeah, I believe it.
in that one stretch.
Yeah, because there's no end I-110 sign going north, and there's no end CA-110 going south. So it is kind of it's very murky as far as what exactly that the designation is through there.
End signs are a premium in California. You'll find that.
Yeah, that's true. California's got a bunch of weird examples of, ambiguous designations and a lack of end shields and stuff like that. I've definitely noticed that in the last couple of years. I was actually quite floored, as I go off on another tangent here, when I found not just an end 905 sign, I found a begin 905 sign in San Diego.
Yeah, you had that on the video you showed in the San Diego webinar.
Did I show that?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
The one thing that you probably noticed about the 110 Parkway, did you ever notice the suicide ramps?
Which ones are those?
they're north of the 5, where you have to take them at 10 miles an hour if you're trucks, and they have stop signs on them.
Okay, yeah. I
Not
did.
just trucks.
Yeah,
That is-
I did drive that. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
But pretty much that was the standard ramp for the northern part of the 110, and they just never got caught up with it. And it's interesting how it ends at the middle of Pasadena instead of going all the way to the 210. Thank you, Freeway revolters.
Yeah, so do we want to touch on that real quick? So the idea of the 110 was to run through Pasadena and connect in with the 210. And if I really want to put you guys in a bad mood, I could bring up the 710.
That
No.
makes me angry.
That makes me angry.
I'm angry you didn't cover the 710.
You know, I really wanted to, but again, I just didn't have time for it.
Boo.
Yep. Well, it gives me something to come back in 10 years to do.
That's how I looked at it when I came back in 13. It was like, okay, here's my opportunity. And I was out there for a half a year, so I pretty much got all the roads I could get with the time I had.
Yeah. Yeah, like if I think about it out loud for a second, if I was gonna do LA properly, I probably would need to just fly there and spend like 2 weeks there.
Yes.
And like, because that would give me enough time to hit everything off peak where I wouldn't run into trouble. And I do have a leg up in the sense that I've got some of the big stuff out of the way already. Like the 5, the 405, and the 110 are already done, at least through downtown. So that helps out a little bit. But I didn't even touch the 10. I didn't touch the 710. 101 I didn't touch. Some of the highways leading east out of town, like the 60 and the 91, I didn't touch.
Yeah.
So there's still a ton of stuff that I never got to. But yeah, that would be a hell of an undertaking if I ever got in the mood to do it. But yeah, getting back to Pasadena real quick. Yeah, so you were supposed to have 2 north-south highways through Pasadena, and you ended up with 0.
I don't know if they had built one of them, if they would have given up on the other one. I get a feeling that was a very reasonable likelihood at that point.
What was the one that was more in demand, shall I say?
I think the 710 had a more realistic chance of happening. I don't know if that's what you're asking, but
Yeah, I'm asking like if you had to pick one or the other, which one do you think would have had the bigger benefit?
I don't know what the official opinion is on it, or facts, or history. If I was to pick one, I would have picked the 710 going through because that one had gone towards a 4-way, whereas the 110 would have ended someplace on the 210, and that would have been a 3-way, but it would have gone through more of downtown Pasadena, though.
And 110 is really not that conducive to truck traffic. I don't think trucks are allowed on it being a parkway.
Nope, they're not.
Northeast, yeah, so 710, all traffic is allowed. So there are many benefits there, plus the manner in which they were going to complete them. I don't think the tunnel idea ever came up for the 110. That was just going to be a classic freeway.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I tend to agree with the 710 idea. Like, whenever people talk about freeways in Pasadena, the first thing everybody talks about is the 710, like without question. And it does make sense that the 710 would be a much bigger help than the 110. Because yeah, you
That
have
draws up a lot of eyes because of the fact that Pasadena is blocking it.
yeah. Yeah, and it's an example of a project that definitely would help a lot of people. But, you know, I don't want to go on my soapbox here, but there are certain projects that, you know, if you look at it from the engineering side, you know, you could definitely help out a lot of the population by putting it through anyway. But, anyway. Here's some more pictures I forgot I put in the slideshow.
The lower right looks like it's part of the East LA interchange.
Um,
510 101.
This is... Where the hell is this? No, this is 110 south at 101,
Oh,
I think.
okay, I'm way off. You're right.
So
I just don't
that's-
see LA in the left-hand corner because it's probably cut off by the bridge.
Yeah, I don't know wherever the hell Sunset Boulevard comes in, but that's wherever that is.
Sunset crosses the highway north of the 101, and it goes around the stadium.
Right, because we do go more or less right by Dodger Stadium, even though you can't see it from the highway.
I don't
Yep.
have that on my 110 page.
Yeah. All right. We have enough. Oh, here we go. All right. And now for something completely different. Let's talk about toll roads. 'Cause that's everybody's favorite subject in this group.
I love toll roads.
Yeah, I know you do. Yep. You love them so much you never drive them.
I love when other people take me on them.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, so the toll roads of Orange County. Let's talk about this system. This is down in southeastern Orange County, well outside of LA, southeast of Anaheim. It's centered largely around Irvine and the Eastern Hills. As you can see, there are 4 highways that are a component of this system. And we're going to talk about all 4 of them individually, as well as the system that they are unified under. And bring your fast track if you want to drive them, because you don't need a fast track. They do accept toll by plate, but it is significantly higher to do the toll by plate option. So here's a map of the system as of right now. You have the 241, which is the longest component, that runs basically right through the Eastern Hills, and you have a couple of spurs into Irvine with 133 and 261. And then the 73 is the San Joaquin Hills Toll Road, which is basically a bypass of the 5405 through Irvine. It's basically a shortcut if you're willing to pay
Yeah.
the toll.
That's the only true bypass in California because everybody avoids it. No feedback yet.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what my toll bill was, but I don't remember what it was exactly. I
don't-
think
A little bit there.
I think it's about. I want to say the difference between the fast track and the toll by plate is like 50%. So it ain't cheap. And because I had an Arizona issued rental car without a fast track, I had to do the toll by plate option for everything. So that goes for these toll roads here, and also for the one toll road down in San Diego. Well, let's just go through these real quick. So 73 is, as I said, the San Joaquin Hills Tollway. I think I already basically said this. Bypass of the 5405. Originally, this was supposed to be built entirely as a freeway. Only a small section of it was built, the Corona Del Mar Freeway, leading southeasterly away from the 405. The freeway itself only goes on for about 3 miles or so before it ended for a long time. And then the freeway was quote-unquote extended as part of the the San Joaquin Hills Transportation Corridor in the 90s. And so that's what enabled the corridor to be completed. So we have 2 different agencies. We have an agency that runs the San Joaquin Hills Toll Road, which is the TCA, or the SJ Hills TCA. And then there's going to be another one that runs the other 3 toll highways. I haven't looked into the structure of the agency that, the overall umbrella agency that oversees all 4 highways, so I don't I don't know all the inner workings of it, but it sounds like they separate the 73 from the other three, which is kind of interesting. I mean, the 73 doesn't connect with the other three highways, so I don't know if that has something to do with it. Or if
Transportation Corridor Agencies is the umbrella group, and it has the San Joaquin Hills and the Foothill Eastern agencies. So it's two of them, and they're joint power authority. Back in 1986 to plan those toll roads.
Yeah, so it's two agencies that have joint control, or they have control of their own respective areas.
It's a limited information here, but yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Like, I don't know whose idea that was. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying, like, you wouldn't see that in the East.
No.
So here's a couple of pictures. You have the split for 5 and 73 south of Irvine here, and this is a nice view, but it probably would be a million times better today with all the smog missing.
Yeah.
You can't see jack in this picture beyond a few miles, but I bet on an absolutely clear day you could see all the way to LA.
Yeah, the chat mentioned the four roads are actually collectively called the toll roads, and I did see that as the logo that they had on the message signs as I approached them on the 405 is that they just had the toll roads.
Right, yeah. Like, I always thought that was the umbrella system, but I was surprised when I was reading about it that there were two different agencies under that umbrella. That's what I was referring to.
Yep. Two different makeups because of the municipalities. That's what CPC said.
Oh, is that what's going on here?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Is that like New Jersey's 12 agencies that oversee a single river?
You talking about Delaware or Port Authority or Hudson?
They both have a lot. No, Hudson's only got the one agency, so.
What about Mid Hudson?
In Delaware, you got several agencies.
Yeah.
So.
Is that 261 on or 73 on the lower right?
No, this is 73.
Okay.
Yeah. Easily the most memorable part of 73, might I add. Well, let's knock out all three of these in one slide, because there's not really that much to talk about with them individually. But
there it is.
Here it
toll
is.
Roads of Orange County.
That's it, man. Take one good look at this slide and bring your fast track, man, because you're going to have to pay up. The Eastern Foothills toll system is comprised of these three highways, as you saw on the map slide a little bit ago. These were conceived in the 80s as a means of improving highway access between Irvine and the Inland Empire, and also to the Eastern Foothills. They were all originally drawn up as freeways, but the only way to finance them and get them constructed was to construct them as toll roads. And so that's why you have the system that we have today. And again, I bring your attention to this different TCA that is responsible for these three highways, right? Now we have the Eastern Foothills Transportation Corridor Agency that is covering this segment here. So we have some pictures from these highways. These are a couple from 133. I think the slide before we did, well, this is a 261 sign. I think this is on 261 also.
I was going to ask if the toll agencies managed to come across button copy, and it looks like they did.
There's still some old school stuff in some areas.
No, Doug just paid you back.
Well, that'll put a little dent in my toll bill, I think. But you know what I'm gonna do?
Hey, Doug, can you sponsor me?
No, Steve does not get to be sponsored because he doesn't drive toll roads to begin with, so he doesn't have a bill to get reimbursed as it is.
I would if they reimbursed me.
Yeah. There's enough. I have enough of a hard time trying to get you to cross the Hudson to come visit me. And now I'm going to have even harder of a time because the toll just went up.
And because you're not allowing me to come visit you, that would be the hard part.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? Well, this is 261. I don't know what the heck that other picture was from. But you see how it's all electronic at this point. They're feeding all the traffic through the overhead gantries. The original toll plazas are still in place, but they don't send any traffic through them. They just divert everybody through the gantries. So you will see that if you drive these highways. Here's another movie shot for you. This is on 241 northbound, approaching its northern terminus at the 91 freeway. And as I mentioned before, this highway goes through the foothills, right? So you do get a lot of scenic overlooks from time to time. And this is one of the more memorable ones. And yes, it is February, and you can see there's a little bit of snow way up there in the distance.
Mount Baldy.
Is that what that is?
Yep, I believe so. I can't really tell from perspective.
What range would that be off to the north?
San Gabriel's.
That is the San Gabriel's. Okay.
Yeah, if it was further east, it would be the San Bernardinos, actually.
I see. Okay.
The thing about control cities in the California area, don't believe that the actual city is actually going to be on the freeway for those. I've always found it quite interesting that you don't see a drop of San Diego until you pass through Orange County. In LA, they like to say Santa Ana all the time. I'm like, okay, Santa Ana's just a suburb. What's the big deal?
Yeah, like they on that slide where we saw the split of 5 and 73, it said Santa Ana.
Yeah.
And it didn't even say, well, it didn't say Los Angeles, it didn't even say Anaheim.
No. Anaheim's not even respected at all.
Nobody likes Anaheim.
No.
Hell, the baseball team's not Anaheim anymore.
I agree with this. I have nothing to say.
It's the Orange County, California baseball team.
It's the Orange County Angels.
Yeah.
They should just call them that, right?
Good point. Not a lot of people like Disney.
No. We're the Orange County hockey team. Well, they've been a lot more consistent with the Anaheim name. They seem to have embraced it a lot more.
They have, but Disney no longer owns that team.
Right, yeah.
Every time
CPZ
they say the team's name, I always have to look around.
Yeah. But people do not like Disney, and I don't like Disney right now either because they totally effed up Star Wars. But that's another lecture for another day. Damn Disney trilogy. Anyway, any questions?
Yeah, when do we get to participate in the Star Wars webinar?
You know what? That would have been a good one to do for April Fool's Day.
Ooh.
Just be like,
well, May the 4th is right around the corner.
Oh, crap, you're right. It's only in a couple days too.
Yeah. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
This looks like it's southeast of the city.
I took this picture on the 5 somewhere.
Southeast.
So I guess
Southeast.
Okay, yeah.
Now, recall there's still a lot of construction going on the SPY, both incoming ways. That highway has been under construction for an eternity, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know what you just said because I wasn't paying attention, but it sounds good.
Okay.
Can we go back to the... Which photo do you want me to go back to?
It doesn't matter. There was no photo involved.
You're back to the photo you said was on 73.
Was that
can't be
this?
seen.
Oh, yes.
Is that this slide? I don't know. This is this is on 73. Okay. Yeah, this one here, right? You just want to gaze in amazement at that picture for a little while longer? That's fine. I don't care.
I think he's trying to connect it to the 110, but the two do not connect.
No. The 73, if you follow it all the way to the north end, it meets the 405, like 3 miles from the 605? It's pretty close to there.
Not even close. It's close. It's closer to this. It's right by the 55. So the 605 is miles away from that. So after you cross the 55 and the 73, you'll go 405 for quite a while, depending on how slow you're going. And it connects with the 22.
Yeah.
The two follow each other, and then you take the 405 north, and finally you get to the 605.
Okay. Alright, did that...
All right.
No, yeah, so the background in the PowerPoint is just this generic slide, so...
Yes.
I hope that's
yeah.
not confusing people too much. But that's a question to ask. What the heck is the background photo? Well, it is actually... it's northbound 405 at the 110. That's where I took this picture.
Unimpressive.
I am not impressed either. It's absolute shit.
Just like us.
Hey! Alp said it, not me. Speaking of angry people, Mr. Angry is here to tell you to please join us next Saturday for our next webinar presentation. So while you guys have more questions coming in, if you have any more, you have this little friendly reminder for next week's programming.
Phoenix.
Yeah, I spent all this time talking about Arizona and how it was central to the trip, so now maybe I should start talking about it in PowerPoint form. Where was I with comments here? I'll show you guys a video of 110, that's fine, since you asked for it. Los Patronos Parkway. Well, that was an extension of the 241 to the southeast. When we talked about the 241, we did mention that this is the system this is the highway that exists right now, right? And it ends down here, but it actually was meant to extend further down towards the 5 near San Clemente. That was the original plan. But that appears to have been shelved. That was taken off the table a while ago. Why the hell is there an echo all of a sudden? I don't know what's going on, but somebody's got an echo problem. So yeah, the 241 was meant to go much further south than it does today.
There was definitely some resistance to that one from what I'm seeing here. But it pretty much got shelved, like you said.
Yeah. Alright. That's it for the slideshow, peeps.
All right, time to go to sleep.
Yeah. Now I need to take a second to plug in my hard drive here. So maybe we have... Let me get rid of that. Alright. Upload queue time. There's way too many friggin' states on this list. There's way too many cities on this list still. There's way too many videos in this folder.
There's way too many megabytes in this folder.
I agree. You know what? Let me, how many bytes do I have in here? 37 billion bytes? Yeah, that's plenty.
That takes that many to get through the lollipop?
Well, I think it takes you about 37 billion minutes to take the 5 from LA to Anaheim at 5 o'clock on a Friday, so that makes sense.
Film to win Best Picture in the 92.
Alright, I gotta mute this. Well, we gotta start somewhere with videos, so let's start here with everyone's absolute favorite freeway, which is the 605. So this, for some context, this was the second morning of 2 that I spent in LA, and this would have been President's Day. So a Monday morning, but because of the holiday, obviously, the traffic was significantly lower than it otherwise would have been.
You'll find the left lane inaccessible because of the double white line, obviously. But for people like you on a weekend drive in LA that were unable to use the lane at any time of the day because it's a 24-hour carpool lane.
Yeah, so California does the 24-hour rule. Or is that an LA thing?
Mainly it's an LA and Orange County thing.
And Staten Island.
Well, yeah, Staten
That's
Island
a different subject there, Steve.
Yeah, Staten Island has the wrinkle of 3+ instead of 2+.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that absolutely nobody uses it.
Keeps you clear.
Yeah, it keeps you clear, but then I gotta abduct 2 people if I want to drive it.
Driving to Jersey and abduct Alps.
Well, that still leaves me 1 short, though.
Cookie dough.
Yeah.
Put a dummy in there.
What was I reading not so long ago? Somebody got busted for trying that somewhere. Maybe
Probably Staten Island.
Pretty everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? If it wasn't Staten Island, it was on the Gowanus. Somebody was doing that. Somebody got busted by somebody. So where the hell are we? What sign did I pass just now? Did we pass anything important yet?
No.
You passed through traffic twice.
Oh, okay. Here's the 10 coming up in a couple of miles. Yeah, so you will see the northern end of 605 gets a bit more interesting because you have a lot of the power lines here off on the left. You also have the major interchanges with the 10 and the 210. And then if the fog wasn't such a prevalent thing in this video, you would have a great view of the San Gabriels straight ahead. But Yeah, every once in a while I read an article from somewhere in the country, somebody getting busted with a dummy in their passenger seat.
People will think of anything these days.
Yeah. I want to say it was in either Maryland or Virginia where somebody got pulled over, like a hearse got pulled over, and they were trying to say that the body in the back of the car counted as a person. And I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, it is a
No,
person.
he's not.
It doesn't say the person has to be alive.
It said occupant.
It's
He's
it is an
occupying the
occupant.
vehicle.
I know. But yeah, like, where's the second person? Oh, he's dead and he's in the back.
Oh, he's just sleeping.
Yeah, you know. But yeah, people try everything. You know, it's amazing. Oh, the things that people think of.
So yeah, we're building. They had to have the flyover complete now from the 605 to the 10 here now. Is that correct?
Well, I guess we're gonna find out, right?
Yeah.
The 605 to what?
605 to 10
10 east or west?
east. That looks like.
Well, I guess that's what this is. This overpass here, right?
Actually, the flyover is from 605 northbound to 10 westbound.
Yeah, that's still a loop ramp from what I saw.
Yeah, I see it there.
So
But
I guess is that another project that's in the wings?
unknown.
Okay. But yeah, nice, beautiful, hazy, foggy view of the San Gabriels right in front of us.
Yep. Also, a nice tree farm to the left. Oh, wait, those are power lines.
Yeah.
California Tree Farm, yeah.
Pretty
Is that-
much.
Is that what you guys call it?
That's what he
Sounds
calls it.
Yeah. Okay.
When I think of California Tree Farm, I think of my friend who farmed a different kind of tree up north.
Eucalyptus.
A different kind of tree that still grows in the United States that some people call tree affectionately.
Alrighty then.
That happens to be grown in Northern California.
Well, I would say that California is probably one of those places where it's legal to grow that tree, right?
Wasn't when this person was farming it.
Yeah, so that's a recent change, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an I-290 in New York kind of vibe to this, I would say, sort of. Yeah, I get where that's coming from.
Similar scenery.
Yeah, well, for the most part, I mean, if you were going south, it would definitely look a lot more like it. I have to
And
say
I think it takes both directions.
I know that I know that I talk shit about the 605, but I actually think that this is one of my favorite stretches of freeway in the LA area, especially if you're going northbound.
It's more of a modern freeway compared to the ancient ones that go through town.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's a lot straighter, and I don't know if it's wider, but it's definitely straighter. And I like the California tree farms myself. And again, the mountains. You know, I keep coming back to the mountain views. You know, we saw a lot of that in El Paso. Not so much in San Diego, but here it's definitely prevalent. Again, the callback to Hawaii. You know, we remember those freeways having these beautiful landscapes as well. So that's probably where I fell in love with the idea of mountainous landscapes on freeways, was my adventures out that way. And this definitely reminds me of that.
And of course, it's got the standard set of 8-lane freeways here.
Yeah.
You won't find that very much in LA itself. In fact, I mentioned the East LA interchange. Most of those highways going through there, you're lucky if you find 3 lanes. And it is not built for the traffic it is now. Not capable of handling the traffic that it's getting now. I ended up driving south on the 5 through the East LA interchange. Is like, well, okay, I'm about a foot further south. 10 minutes later.
Yeah, I think most of the ramp movements in that interchange are like 2 lanes. So if you want to stay on the 5, it basically goes from 5 lanes to 2.
Yep.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Pretty complex because you got kind of like a triangle of roads.
Yeah, because you've got, well, we could roll through them real quick. You got the 5, the 10, and the 101 forming the triangle, and then you've also got the 60 coming in.
Yep.
From the east. So that's 4 big-time highways, and they're all basically down to 1 or 2 lanes because there ain't enough room for all of them.
Nope.
So we passed the 210, and the 605 comes to an end here, right at the foothills of the mountains here.
At a traffic signal.
At a traffic signal. At least it's not coming to an end at a traffic circle. Do we want to... Yeah, I guess we can watch. I should have done this before the stream, but I spent all of my day outside today, so I didn't put together the videos that I wanted to show you guys. But let's... I think this is the 5 through East LA. Let's see. Yeah. Let me just double check. Yep, this is it. Alright, we got a winner here. So this is the 5 northbound. There's a lot of construction. I think, Scott, you were saying, you were alluding to a lot of construction on the 5 in Orange
Yes.
County, right?
LA, actually. Both probably are valid. When I was out there in 13, Orange County had like 5-6 lanes going one way. And then once you hit the LA County line, down to 2 or 3.
Yeah. Right.
It was LA County being so far behind Orange County that it was pitiful. There's been a request for the 73 toll road.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how much time we have to get to all those toll roads. We'll see what...
It is on his Facebook page if you want to look.
Yeah, when I was going through these highways on my Facebook page, I covered all of them already. So, whatever highways that we don't get to cover tonight, if you do want to see some footage of them before they make their way onto YouTube in July, that's a good place to go. And let me give a quick shout out to the Facebook page in general, in case you guys have not yet found it. That's a good place to get all the latest information, all the latest previews, both in picture form and in video form of my travels across America. It's basically my way of giving my followers a sneak peek at what is coming out later on the channel. So.
Yeah. Well, this is definitely LA County. And it's definitely a lot wider, except for the fact that it has no shoulders, and it can't fit shoulders on there because of the limited real estate.
Is it disorienting for you because there's no traffic?
It's early morning, so what do you expect?
Well,
I expect traffic at all hours.
yeah, that's the
This
thing.
is on a weekend day, right?
This would have been a Sunday morning.
That's about right. because there is actually open road at times on the. Oh yeah, this is really narrow. Slash. And
Still 65 speed limit.
which is not surprising. That's California for you.
Yeah, I'm like, if this was Connecticut, it would be like 50.
Try Pennsylvania.
Or
70.
Pennsylvania, yeah.
Well, in Pennsylvania, this would either be I-95 or 2 lanes each way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I was referring to I-70 south of Pittsburgh.
You
Wow.
could fit that on one side of this.
Yes.
Well, the gold standard for expressways in Pennsylvania is 2 lanes per direction. So, whether
Yep.
you're in Philly or Pittsburgh.
The sure kill.
This median is a little generous, though.
Yeah, I mean, one way you can tell that this is not Pennsylvania is that you don't have ramp stops.
Yeah. So coming up on the 710.
Also, no clear view.
That's California for you.
Oh, it's not Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Well, Pennsylvania's got the Clearview virus, though, don't they?
That's why I mention it.
Yeah.
So you know this is not Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I can't recall if there was any spot that had Clearview in California, but I have to say no.
Nothing major.
Mm-mm.
I think you
And
had.
we're coming up on a terrible looking left exit here towards 710.
Yeah, this is a little odd, right? Because the 710 flies overhead, right? So
Yep.
this ramp leaves to the left and then merges on the left. I assume, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be interesting. So we get clear at the 710, and now we're closing in on the East LA interchange, which, as we mentioned, was where you have the 5, the 10, the 101, and
60.
the 60.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can't get to the 60 from the 5 northbound, but the 60 comes in from the east and merges in on the right before we depart.
Yeah, you're better off taking the 710 in order to get to the 60.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's a lot of missing movements in that interchange.
Yeah, considering how big it is, yeah, there's still about, I don't know, maybe a third of the total movements that are missing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to kind of point out is of the 3 largest cities in the nation, meaning New York, Chicago, LA, in no particular order, of course, LA is the only one that has state standard city limit signs. New York has the individual boroughs.
Yep.
Chicago doesn't have even one. The only way you can tell you're Chicago is by the density and design of streetlights. And LA actually has the signs that tell you whether you're in the city or not when you cross it.
Yeah, because I remember I didn't see any signs at all in Chicago. I thought that was
And you
bizarre.
won't. The only one you'll see is on the Skyway.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there is that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Otherwise, you just look at the density and design of the streetlights.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. I wouldn't be able to pick that up.
Well, this
Are we done echoing for a few seconds?
what?
Okay. So on the
Awesome.
left here, we have 3 lanes of the 10 eastbound merging in. And those 3 lanes of traffic, if they want to stay on the 10, have to get over to the right in the next mile because 10 eastbound splits to the right.
Crazy death trap.
Yeah, well, now you know why it's jammed with traffic 20 hours a day.
Exactly.
It looks fine.
Yeah, well, the traffic gods were smiling on me when I drove through here.
I feel a particular emotion about that.
I'm sure you do.
And of course, aero per lane doesn't exist in LA. Good luck finding a place to put aero per lane here.
Well,
Yeah, it won't fit on their gantries,
Does California even have it?
There are places that do have aero per lane. I think the Bay Bridge has some.
I mean, I'm sure I've seen one, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But I don't remember seeing a lot of them, They're not as rampant in California as they are in other parts of the country. All right, it's 4:05 time, I think. So we are headed northbound in this video. We are passing Long Beach to the south. Let's go for a nice little cruise here.
It's actually 5:05 in India right now, but close.
It's what?
It's actually 5:05 in India right now, but you're close.
I don't know what that means.
The time.
Okay, whatever.
It says 4:05 time. I had to look that up.
All right.
I love the anti-vandal borders here. Sign borders.
Yeah. Is that what they're there for? Those little
Yes.
outline things?
Yep. Should have seen it back in the 90s when they had barbed wire surrounding them.
Really?
Yes.
I never knew that.
LA was pretty run down in the 90s, and it was one thing that told me, do not go back to LA ever again. Let's see, 15 years later.
Well, when were you in LA in the 90s?
97, actually.
Okay. Yeah, because, in a few years before that, you had Rodney King and all the riots in the city because of that. But
Yes, 92.
yeah, because I know that was a big thing, and of course, our good friend Orenthal happened in '94.
Yep.
So that was a hell of a decade for LA, that's for sure.
Yeah, it has been cleaned up quite a bit. Hollywood was really run down back in the 90s, and now they've completely gentrified it and made it a tourist trap.
Yeah, it sounds like LA's a lot better now than it was even 10 years ago.
I somewhat felt semi-comfortable walking around downtown LA during the daytime, I might add.
Yeah.
And it was mainly along 7th, 8th, Wilshire, and Figueroa. Actually, got a couple shots of the 110 from Wilshire
Okay.
in my Flickr stash.
A good old Flickr stash.
If you get a chance, throw up a route through the tunnels.
Yeah, we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still got to get to 110. I haven't done that yet.
You did put the Ferguson in the Facebook feed, so
I did the what?
the interchange with 105.
Oh, yeah.
The Judge.
Yep, the Aaron Judge interchange.
Very interesting how they line up the arrows very well on their signs here.
Yeah, they actually put some thought into putting the arrows on these signs instead of just throwing them up at random and hoping that they're close.
Hmm.
See, now once again we have a speed limit 65 sign, and it to me is a minor miracle that I'm able to go 65 on this highway, because everything that I've ever heard about it is that it is a transportation hellhole.
It is.
And it is, you're right. Just not at this particular time.
Nope. Like I said, I had taken a drive down to San Diego from Santa Clarita. The 5 and the 405 in LA and Orange counties, I was lucky to go 35, 45 at times, but mostly I was going about 20 to 25 miles an hour throughout that whole stretch. Across the San Diego to Long County line, 70.
Yeah. By the way, we're passing through Carson, which is the home to all 3 Los Angeles Chargers fans right now. Until the new stadium gets built out in Inglewood, which is basically it's almost done. It's going to open up for next football season. That's what they're saying. Although, like, the official word is that it's going to open for next season, but it sounds like they're having issues completing it, so that maybe they're going to push it back again. I don't know.
They'll just keep pushing back this season to make it work.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if the season gets delayed to October, November instead of September, maybe it'll be ready by then anyway.
I look forward to some February football in New York.
Yes, the AFC Championship game with the Jets and the Titans in the middle of February. That'd be an interesting game.
And urban scenery on the 405 is around Santa Monica. You got the cluster of ramps with the Sunset and Santa Monica boulevards there.
Okay, yeah, like up that way there's definitely a lot more, like, there's more of a edge city feel to it, yeah.
Yes.
Also down by Irvine.
You didn't make it off of Freeways by chance, did you?
Not really.
Okay. Half of my time in LA on the roads was off the freeways, so.
Okay. How does traffic move off the freeway?
About normal. Depends on where you're going. If you're on Santa Monica Boulevard, you got a lot of traffic on that. But if you take like Wilshire through Beverly Hills, it gets a little crowded there. But then once you get towards the Miracle Mile district, it starts to thin out. Particularly not on weekends.
Okay.
So let's do a
Right.
northbound. Or we can do southbound too.
I'll show you the Parkway southbound.
Mm-hmm. Parkway entrance.
Yeah, there aren't many of those signs in California.
Yeah, the northbound has the tunnels.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do that video later. So the Parkway begins here in Pasadena, and we'll follow this
Immediately
video.
got a lane drop.
Yeah. Yes, because, you know, we don't need another lane. What are these guys talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you should just be using the 710 if you're through traffic, so this should be wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we just mentioned the 710 in Pasadena again, so I'm sure that triggered a bunch of people.
Such a narrow road here.
Yeah, you can definitely tell this was built before, quote-unquote, modern standards started to apply.
Yeah.
This does.
CPZ, you're correct. They have actually toll road entrance.
Yeah, I think that.
Now watch this exit here.
Yeah.
Watch this exit. Oh, actually, that one's a decent exit. As we go further south, you'll
Don't
see.
watch this exit. Ignore this exit.
Yeah, you'll find very tight runs later.
Oh yeah, like I think there are at least a couple where the advisory speed is 10 miles an hour.
Correct. Yep, you're right. Looks like something out of New York or Long Island. This is actually the first freeway in America. They had to go through Toontown to build this.
Yeah. See that? The first freeway looks like this. See how far we've come in the years since then.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a 5 mile an hour ramp here.
I recall reading that the earliest pieces of this were actually not a freeway, and that they then had to grade separate and build interchanges at the first few locations.
Yep. See, now that's a Wyoming exit, right, Josh?
A Wyoming exit?
As in, some of the exits are kind of like right-in, right-outs. And that was basically what it was. It's a right-in, right-out. There's a stop sign.
All right. See, now a lot of people might be like scared to death of a road like this, but I drive the roads of Westchester County and New York City all the time, so this feels like coming home.
Yeah.
This especially feels like the Jackie Robinson in Queens, where it's just like I think the speed limit on that thing is 40. And like if you go 45, you'll die because there are that many sharp curves in it. And there are like no ramps at all. It's basically like this. It's just turnoffs.
Interborough. Yep.
Well, one thing the 110 has going for it is at least the lane widths stay relatively constant on there. It's not bad. I don't know if it's 12 feet, but since it's only cars, even if it's 11, you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do give you full width lanes here at least.
But good luck trying to fix a breakdown here.
Yeah.
I thought that only happened in the middle of New York freeways, not LA.
Yeah, if you have somebody breaking down, they issue a signaler.
They don't have to worry about putting shoulders on LA freeways because the only people who stop in lanes to take pictures of signs and light poles are in New York. So they don't have that problem elsewhere.
Uh-huh.
Here's downtown LA. We have a US 101 and a 110, but we don't have an I-110.
And a 5.
Not yet. That's fine.
And I think these signs have been up since Julius Caesar was emperor. They look that old. Here's the 5 freeway.
Now, after the 5, as you cross over the 5, you'll find a little bit of a, you won't see it from the road there here, but there is a walkway that parallels this road in the median after the roadways kind of spread out.
Mm-hmm.
I actually walked that walkway.
Well, that's from when the entire parkway went through the tunnels.
Yep. It was actually a surface street back then, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so southbound goes up and over the hill, whereas northbound cuts through the tunnels on the left.
Yeah, the walkway is now on the left of that rail.
Oh, is that what that is with the street lamps?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, the street lamps are actually the tunnels, but yeah, you'll see the street lamps there. That's walkway. And if you pay attention as you walk along, you can actually stand on top of the tunnels.
Oh, okay. That's how you get to them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know that I've seen pictures of from that angle before, and I wasn't sure if there was a way to get up there legally or without, causing significant bodily harm to yourself.
Not really that bad. You'll obviously find the occasional camp there, but outside of that, it's just fine.
Okay.
And I basically took this whole walkway with a couple others in 13 before we drove up the old 99 route.
Okay.
So they still have
Fernando
California
Road.
shields here.
Oh, yeah.
There's the sign.
That sign.
We're
This is the
asking
sign
about
that you had in the
on-
presentation.
On the California 110, not I-110.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Harbor Freeway.
Yeah, so here's where the Harbor Freeway starts.
The 4 level.
Yeah, I guess that is 4 levels, right? This is the second level we're driving on.
No,
Yeah.
that's the famous
go
one.
underneath. This is the famous 4 level. It's
Always-
called the 4 level.
Oh, is that what they call it? The 4 level?
Yes.
You see all the old images of it, before there were memes, they were making memes of that. Before the
Yes.
internet.
Oh, alright.
And it's actually substandard now.
Well, it was modern for 1950.
Correct. Ancient button copy, pretty much. Forget what Jay called it.
Porcelain? Not
Porcelain, yeah,
yeah. Or enamel or something.
yeah. Look at all these ramps.
Well, it's hard to get through the hornet's nest of downtown LA without encountering massive traffic jams, but for some reason I was able to do that.
I did not have a problem when I traveled this road either. Other roads, yes, at least not this part of 110. I think towards the bottom of 110 I had a little.
Once you
Little
start
issue.
getting into the traffic snarl, that's the loopy interchange with the 10.
Yeah, this is that the interchange with the 10, and then this is obviously where the interstate begins. Yeah, you have a 4-lane ramp to the different directions of the 10. A 3-lane split to the west. Alright, we don't need to watch the rest of this video. The rest of it's stupid. What do we want to do now? Let's do... Well, I can show you the tunnels in this video.
Yeah, let me get the California 10 now.
Yeah, so if we leave the 101 4-level going north, this is the view we have. Exit for
And
Dodger
they-
Stadium.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, some of the exit numbers you're seeing now.
Mm-hmm.
California in the 70s had a brief flirtation with trying to be normal like other places and decided it wasn't for them.
Yeah.
The funny thing about Dodger Stadium is you can try to find Dodger Stadium from the road. Good luck finding it because it's dug into the side of a hill.
Yeah, right.
And I see they replaced the ancient option sign for 50110 with an LED here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did have this on your page a couple days ago, so this is...
Yep, this is one of the highlights of the LA freeway system for sure.
And there goes the tight turn curve to the 5. And you notice the spiral staircase to the left.
That's that same walkway?
Yep.
Okay.
And those are very classic tunnels. Back even when they carried the Fig.
Yeah.
You sound like you were around for those days.
I may be ancient, but not that ancient.
The Fig.
It may be. Alright, so I showed you plenty of Highway 110, so I'll show you some I-110 stuff.
Oh, look at all the snow.
Yeah. It's
Marine layer.
It's a blizzard of fog. And somewhere over there is the judge. And you can't see shit. So we're going to turn north onto the 110. Yeah, that's my that's the marine layer for you.
Typical morning in LA, San Francisco, San Diego, what have you.
Yeah.
Did I see signal ahead?
Probably ramp meters, right?
Yeah, there they are.
Oh my god, ramp meters. Terrible.
It's even better when you're on a 3-lane freeway and that they meter you into a single lane to merge.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh look, CHP.
Right on cue, there he is.
CPZ.
You find those in Wisconsin too. Ramp meters on Freeway, the stadium interchange.
Yeah, they like to do that, don't they?
Milwaukee is very fond of them.
Yeah, they're starting to put them in on the highways down in Rockland and Westchester over by me. And they are putting in ramp meters at highway to highway connections. So
Yeah, the ramp meter that we passed here had to been put in just a year or two ago because I never seen them on my trips.
yeah, I think it's a pretty recent phenomenon, right?
Depends on where you're at. For this highway, yes.
I don't like all this stupid fog crap, so let's skip ahead a little bit. This is so this is the section that has the Harbor Transitway running overhead.
There you go.
That gives you at least a little something to look at. Very reminiscent of the JFK air train. Down
Or
in Queens.
Dodge Street in Omaha.
What's that? I'm not familiar with that.
It's US 6 north of town, and it actually is an express local setup where the expresses are above grade.
Okay.
Also reminiscent of the I-35 bi-level in Austin or San Antonio.
Yeah, that's another place I haven't been to. Well, we're going along here north, and we're still in the fog.
The Memorial Coliseum passing by.
Okay.
I see the 710's coming up.
What?
I saw the 710.
No. This is the 110. You're not going to connect to it.
Is that what that shield was?
Yeah.
Hard to tell with all the fog.
Well, the fog lifts, and look at that view. It's like
Whoa!
the clouds part. Yep. And that is the reason why I kept this video and why I'm going to upload it. Because of that spectacular moment there where it's like the clouds part and you have the beautiful view of the city, and now we're in business. Now we can see some stuff.
And then you go in underneath.
Yeah, we go underneath, but you know what? At least we can see the friggin' signs on the highway again.
Yes.
So the interstate.
So you got 10 right there, Alps. You just have to drop the 10 at the 7.
Whatever it was, it might have been the 110.
Yeah, whatever.
Really hard to see.
There's my cover photo. All right, so we passed the 10 again, and then the interstate comes to an end here, and Highway 110 takes over from this point.
It's all Highway 110.
Yeah, it is all the 110, yeah. So I showed you what the downtown trip going south looked like. So here's the trek going north.
All downtown exits.
And there's a lot of them in a short amount of time.
Yes. All numbered.
Yep, exit 22B. I guess there's going to be an exit 22Q coming up. Or that's Kansas City, never mind.
Yeah. And that's actually, whatever. Oh, look, traffic.
Well, that ain't a good place to put your hazards on and go 20 miles an hour, bruh.
Yep. He's looking for a place to park. Good luck.
Yeah, well, good luck finding one.
That's always been a problem. Cars in the middle of the road stopped.
Yep.
This is kind of like an express local type of thing, where you're in the express and the local has to deal with all the ramps.
Right, that's all the downtown exits, right? And then all the entries from downtown all converge on the frontage road / local lanes.
Yep.
Before they all merge in together.
These signs overhead are recently replaced because they have always had Hollywood and always left the 5 off until somebody decided, oh, I'm just going to climb up and put a 5 shield up there.
Yeah, those look very new. And if you noticed on the ramp itself, those signs were still ancient.
Yeah, they still say Hollywood.
Yeah.
No, Hollywood's like, dude, where's my respect?
Yeah. All right. So that's that. What haven't I shown you guys yet that you want to see? I guess I'll take you for a spin on 73. Yeah, I'll take you for a spin on 73, and then we'll close with a section of 241. I think that's fair.
This will give you the view.
Yeah, this video will give you the view. So 73 splits away here. 5 lanes continue north on the 5 towards Santa Ana, or wherever the hell that is. And 3 lanes split onto the 73 main line.
I hear it's really windy there.
Well, I guess that's where the name comes from, right?
Yes.
Is Santa Ana the name for some sort of naturally occurring geological place too? Or is that just the name of the municipality?
It's the name of the muni. Santa Ana winds basically come off the mountains and are extremely dry, and they can get up to like 60 miles an hour as they're coming off, and
Yeah,
they'll do a little bit more than just toss a tumbleweed somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard they can be, like, really nasty, like hurricane force.
Yep.
Hmm.
I had to actually drive against it once.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
What's that like?
Not fun.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Decades ago.
So you've been to LA a few times.
Twice.
Oh,
Twice.
only twice.
If you want to count the big 6-month thing as one.
Okay. Because you were working out that way, right?
Yes. Put me on temporary assignment at one of their sister companies.
I see.
Yeah, I was actually. I was basically taking the 514 interchange on a daily basis. The Newhall Pass.
Okay. All right. So you were up that way. I got you.
Yeah, and the apartment that I lived in was 1 mile off of Magic Mountain.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yep. It would play you around. Got a season pass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, intertwined ramps.
Well, folks, if you have not yet hit the like button on this video, I would highly encourage that you do so, because not only does it let me know that you're watching, but it also lets me know what you guys are enjoying and what you guys absolutely hate. So, if you don't click the like button, I can assume that just means that you don't like having Alps on these programs, and I'll make sure that I adjust the programming.
Don't encourage the folks. I'm going to adjust mine to a dislike now.
Hey, just wait until you guys interview me. I'm sure I'll get like 70 dislikes.
I intend to dislike it from the moment it starts broadcasting.
You do that.
I will.
I almost expect you to do that. I'd be
Especially if it's on my channel.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out who's broadcasting it, but we'll come to some agreement.
I hope I can dislike my own video.
Yeah, you can.
Cool.
Like, I can dislike any video I want. That's my own.
Including his own.
Yeah.
Give it a try right now. See if you can dislike your own video.
Well, I'm not going to do it right now. I'm running the friggin' live stream. I'm not going to... What, you want a tutorial and to see if I can do that?
No, I can dislike my own, but then I'm stuck with a dislike.
Well, but you can undo it, though. Like, you can...
I probably deserve it.
So what if you... Well, wait a minute. If you knew you could do it, then what are you asking me to do it for?
There's too many likes on your video.
Yeah.
Just trying to even it out.
Yeah. Yeah. See, guys, this is what we really talk about. We don't talk about roads. We just talk about whether we want to dislike people's posts and videos and stuff like that. Got to get down to talk about the issues.
We go off on tangents.
We go off on tangents and we ask the tough questions. Like
sines and cosines.
Like, how do you dislike a video?
This is actually not that bad road.
How can you care react a video?
Go to Facebook.
Well, yeah,
questions.
That's a Facebook thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I care about this video greatly.
I care about you disliking this video.
Well, you don't have to care because I didn't do that yet.
Well,
wait till you're not watching.
I am preemptively caring.
He is preemptively angry.
I'm going to go back and dislike one random video, and you're going to have to find it.
Yeah, well... Yeah, well, go F yourself, because I'm not going to do that.
Okay, millennial.
Yeah, everybody's asking about the view. We still have to come across that. We have not reached the view yet.
Is this the view?
Yes, this is the view right here. You know what?
Ooh, it's lumpy.
Let me pause this video right here. See? This is the view. Right? This is what you came here for, isn't it?
You don't get to see this on the free roads.
You absolutely
No.
do not.
Yeah, so you keep going.
I guess I should keep going, right? Before I get a flood of comments in the live chat like, why did you pause the video?
Can we have another view? You can have another view. We just have to be patient.
I mean, it's breaking news to me that Delaware has hills. What are these hills you speak of? Oh, by the way, this is the...
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if you can find the highest point in Delaware because you can't see it. It doesn't stand out.
It's across the street from the screen door factory.
There are no screen door factories in Delaware.
Oh, come on. That's a joke. Come on. Of course, you guys laugh it up, and then I tell you guys a good joke, and then you don't laugh about it.
Ha ha.
Yeah, so we passed the toll plaza a short time ago, and you notice how we got fed through the gantry lanes while the toll plaza itself is off to the right, still standing. I don't know why they didn't just remove the toll plaza, but...
Just has the Coronado Bridge.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Oh, here's that view, everybody. Yeah, with the Coronado Bridge, they at least left the overhang structure or whatever. They took the booths out, but they left whatever you call that little structure there.
Yes, this is the view.
I've been doing these webinars for a while now. I do not remember people obsessing over a single view like this. Ever.
There's stuff in Arizona that puts this to shame.
I mean, I've never seen this much excitement for a smog-filled pile of nonsense view like this. I mean, if you think this is great...
You get a car, you get a car, you get a car.
Congratulations.
I think if you've seen nothing but the rest of LA for several days, then this view is the most amazing thing ever.
I mean, people have been stuck at home, working from home the last couple of months, so maybe this is the greatest thing ever at this rate. But
very likely.
Yeah, well, I bet you I could put up a picture of the Grand Canyon right now, and people would be like, "Who cares about that?" I wanted to see the view, man.
Slow clap processor.
Anyway. Where the hell am I here? Here I am. Let's do one more video tonight. Alright? Because even though my catalog of LA is limited, we'd still be here all night if I wanted to show you everything. Here's another toll road. Now we're in the Eastern Hills on 241 northbound.
Is it me, or did they decide to put a smokestack in the middle of the hills?
I was wondering what that is. I thought it might be like a siren structure with those, I don't know what they call them, but those big megaphones or whatever.
Oh, like the warning sirens.
Yeah, that's what I thought it might be, but I'm not sure why they would put it there. That doesn't make sense. So I'm not sure that's what it is, but that's what I
Probably some
thought.
eyesore.
It is. I've already located it.
Steve is Googling it as we speak.
Yeah, it was asked to the OC register as to what this is.
Could be
Aha.
anything, guys.
Yes, let me put up a poll on my YouTube site. What do you think this is?
4 towers to improve cell phone reception. So instead of trying to make it look like a fake tree, they just put this stuff up on the left.
Oh.
Is that what that is, really?
That is what that is.
Huh.
They went in the direction of making it as ugly as possible.
Very ugly indeed.
It's like, man, guys, you're not even trying, man.
It's modern art.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Watts Towers are better.
It's weathered steel.
It's rusty. Steel.
Well, yeah, the weathered steel part, that sounds right.
It's fashionable now. If you pre-rust your steel, then you already know how long it's not going to last.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the issues that DOT had when they tried to bring in all that rustic barrier and like guide rail. They had to replace it after a few years because it was prematurely decaying.
Because they prematurely decayed it.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Oh, and
So-
here's another view, by the way, that you saw on the slideshow.
So now you guys talking about paying extra for good views on roads, right? Well, here's a classic case.
See, this is worth the price of admission, I think.
Yeah. Premium channels.
And for some reason, 91 West reads Los Angeles.
Even though it doesn't even go close to Los Angeles. It does cross Los Angeles. The city proper goes along the 110 all the way down to the harbor. And San Pedro is not really a city, it's actually a neighborhood of Los Angeles.
Hmm.
The city limits of Los Angeles are kind of weird. Because you
Yeah,
got the downtown and west side areas, the valley, and then you got a little speck that goes down all the way down to the harbor, and basically shares that harbor area with Long Beach.
Yeah, I've noticed that with a lot of these western cities, the city limits are like, it looks like a 3-year-old drew them. Like with
Pedro?
like a doodle, you know. Some of them just don't make when you look at them on a map, they don't make any sense. They're very arbitrarily drawn, at least to the casual onlooker.
Yeah. It's not very Spanish, CPZ.
Okay, well, I think that's about it for tonight. I think we covered everything we wanted to. I think you guys have
As they
seen
say in show business, that's a wrap.
That is a wrap. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate you watching us navigate our audio problems and whatever the hell was going on. But we'll try to get the feedback and the echo down to a minimum next time. Guys, Scott, Steve, any final thoughts before we sign off?
Just tune in tomorrow for what's coming up.
I think we're gonna have to keep watching and fund your next trip out there to pick up the remaining freeways because you missed some really interesting ones that are still out there.
Yes.
So do we want to, give me an idea of what I missed and all that real quick?
Well, 710 to 210 are the first two that come to mind. A lot of the stuff that I found interesting was some of the construction that was out there that's since cleared up, but I don't know what projects are down the pipe that you may want to visit.
And the 210 is Scenic Heaven. You did get to the 14, I saw that.
Yeah, I drove like 2 miles of it.
Mm. And the 101.
Yeah, I still have to hit the 101. I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm. The
The
101, the
seven-
134, the 2. You got to get on the 2.
Yeah, you got
The
to
I'm
do
not
it.
talking about
Oh,
the
yeah.
2-lane mountain highway. The freeway counts too.
And the remainder of the 110 all the way to the south end, you loop around with 710 there, but that it gets more interesting as you get south.
Yep. Bridges.
Well, yeah, if
Very
we're going
much.
to talk about the 710, you got to talk about the Gerald Desmond and the Vincent Thomas bridges down in Long Beach.
Yes.
I would hope those would be on there.
Well, yeah, I mean, assuming that I would get to go back out there, yeah, that would be one of the first things I'd want to hit, actually.
Anywho.
But, yeah, but,
I like John's little thing. The 710.
yeah.
Bowling's most grueling split.
But yeah, I agree with what Doug says. It's a nice sampler set. It's a good starter set. You know, it's going to be enough material to kind of get you guys interested in the area. And it'll give you a good sense of what a full series would look like 75 years from now when I get around to completing it. So,
Starter pack.
Yeah. So, something to look forward to for some other day. That's another trip for another day, right? But, all right, I think we'll sign off here. And, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you to Scott and Steve for tuning in, and also to Pat, although I don't know what the hell was going on with some of our audio at that time, but we'll see if we can get that worked out for next time. And
I appreciate being invited, as always.
it's a pleasure to have you.
Same.
Yep, so I'm sure we'll be talking to you guys again real soon. So, tomorrow, programming note, we are going to take a break from the interview stuff, and we're going to do something a little different. Tomorrow, we're going to do the best of the coronavirus and the commute for the month of April. So, we'll run through some of my favorite footage from the past month, and we'll be talking about it with my co-host David from EastCoastRoads.com, and we'll be talking about it with all of you as well. So you have that to look forward to tomorrow, same start time. We'll sign off here. I think we'll call this stream finished. And from all of us here at Roadway Wiz, have a good rest of your night, and we'll be talking to you again soon.